Hey guys, it's FFAU, and I'm going to be here showing you my modern deck at the moment, which is this budget Bant Bogles deck. It's really fun. So yeah, if you don't know the strategy, basically what you do is you take Slippery Bogle, Glade Cover Scout, or Invisible Stalker, and slap on a bunch of enchantments, and then attack them for a lot. It's really simple, and really fun. So, I'll just go through the deck. First, let's go through the land. It's really simple. I'm just running 8 forest, 4 island, 5 plains, and 4 seaside citadel. I didn't want to spend too much money on the land base. I got this whole thing for like 30 bucks off of TCG Player, and it's actually fairly competitive. You can definitely win games. You can definitely play in tournaments, or whatever you want. So yeah. Then in the creatures, we have 4 Slippery Bogle. He's just the all-star of the deck. You can play him with Seaside Citadel, Island, or Forest. So that just rules out 5 lands. So as long as you have pretty much any land, then you can play Slippery Bogle. And he's really good. He can't be hit by your opponents. And yeah. Plus that art is amazing. Then we're gonna have 4 Invisible Stalker. Most people don't really run this, as far as I know. I really like it. I think that it's really powerful. It is unblockable, so you don't really need Aqueous Form or Spirit Mantle on it to really have a powerful creature. And of course, that's hexproof, or we really wouldn't be running it. So yeah, then we have 4 Glade Cover Scout. Pretty much the same as Slippery Bogle, just not quite as good because you can't cast it with the blue. Then we're running 4 Lid. So this is a little bit different. Normally you would run something like Core Spirit Dancer in this place, but since that's around $6.50 or so, we don't want to spend that much money getting the Spirit Dancers. So we're running him, who is really great. It's 3 mana for a 2/2, and it can't be blocked by like a little mana dork or a token, so you can't chump block it really. And it gets +1/+1 for each aura on the battlefield, which ends up being a lot because we have pretty much, I think we have almost all one mana enchantments. So yeah, that's pretty much the creatures. Going into the enchantments, we have 2 Aqueous Form. So it gets really late game. If they get a lot of creatures out, you can't really deal with it with the deck. So what you're going to usually do is either slap on Spirit Mantle or Aqueous Form. And if you do put on Aqueous Form, it does not get a buff in power and toughness, but what it does get is that you get to Scry, which is extremely powerful. It sets up your draws. It keeps you from getting mana screwed because you don't want too much mana in this deck, and it's just extremely powerful overall. We're not running that many because we do run Invisible Stalker, who is already unblockable. And yeah, that's the only reason why we're running 4 Ethereal Armor, because, well, it gives first strike. It consistently gives +3/+3 or +4/+4 for 1 mana, and it can get your creature giant, and it's really our best enchantment in the deck. We're running 4 Hyena Umbra because it does give first strike, it gives +1/+1, and Totem Armor is extremely powerful. If you need that little trump blocker to block some giant 10/10 while you're swinging in with your Invisible Stalker, then Totem Armor is super powerful. And if somehow they do have a way to deal with your hexproof guys, well, now they don't. And First Strike's really powerful in this because if they do have one of those big creatures, then you can just block and their creature will just die. Now we're also running 4 Rankers because +2/+0 is not something to just like shove off. That's a lot, especially early game. That's like turn 2 a 4/1 trample slippery bogle, which is extremely powerful. Because swinging in for 4 turn 2 is something that most decks can't really deal with. So trample is really important because if you don't get something to make your creature unblockable, then that's really your go-to thing. And if they manage to kill your creature, then this just gets back to your hand and they don't really get much value. Spider Umbra, I'm really running it for the same reason that I'm running the Hyena Umbra. Reach usually isn't that big a deal, but if it is, then this is really powerful. Yeah. I'm running 3 Spirit Mantle because it gets our Slippery Bogles unblockable. We can attack for, I don't know, like 10, and we don't have to worry about them blocking. And if we just need a chump blocker, again, we can just enchant this on it and block and nothing. Like our creature doesn't die. Then we have 2 Unflinching Courage. It's Modern Armadillo Cloak. It's really good. So it's 3. It gets our creatures +2/+2 trample and lifelink. And like I said earlier, trample is really powerful. +2/+2 is, again, not something to just shove off. And lifelink is really where this card shines, because lifelink in this deck is extremely powerful. I almost ran Spirit Link. I didn't because it didn't really add much to the deck. And I put in Spider Umbra instead because it allows our creatures to stay alive. But lifelink can get us more than 10 life every time we attack, and it can help us not worry about attacking in over and over. And yeah, so that's pretty much the deck. I have yet to come up with a working sideboard, but basically what you're going to need to sideboard against is stuff like Spellskite, stuff like Spellskite mostly. Spellskite, and yeah, that's like the big thing that destroys our deck right now. Spellskite. So yeah. Thank you all for watching. If you liked the video, then hit the like button and subscribe, and I'll see you all later.